Hi, Epic Recaps here, and today I'm going to explain to you a 2004 Japanese horror film titled Cursed. If you want to be spoiled, keep watching. The story centers on a haunted convenience store and the disturbing effect it has on the owners, local residents, and the grisly deaths of the customers who shop there. The scene opens with two high school girls, on their way to meet up with friends. Stopping at a convenience store to get a drink, one of the girls looks up frightened. Turning around, her friend asks her what's wrong. Looking frightened, she tells her she can't go in. Confused, she turns towards the window and notices nothing unusual. About to reveal the reason, she's run over by a passing truck. The scene changes and a woman named Ryuko arrives at the same convenience store, Mitsuya Mart, to complete the work of re-franchising the store. Her coworker Tajima, who oversaw the deal, was injured in a freak accident. Entering the store, Ryuko stops and something in the store gives her an unsettling feeling. Ryuko approaches the friendly cashier named Nao and tells her she's arrived for her 2 p.m. appointment with the owner, Mr. Katora. Appearing out of nowhere, Mr. Katora states that she is late. His wife, Mrs. Katora, insults Ryuko and tells her she's disrespected them. Looking up, the clock on the wall reads 4:20. She checks her hand watch, which is now cracked, and sees that it reads 1:58. Confused, she has no choice but to follow the strange couple. Nao looks up at the clock and sees that it is indeed 2 o'clock. Shrugging it off, she happily greets a hooded man who enters the store. Ignoring her, he makes his way to the magazine rack. Meanwhile, in the back, Ryuko updates the owners about Tahima's recent accident. Mr. Katora excitedly asks for details about the injuries, which she finds disturbing. His wife, on the other hand, is obsessively staring at the security screen, her eyes never leaving Nao. Eager to wrap up the deal and leave, she learns that she will have to take inventory of the entire store, which means she will be stuck at the shop for longer than she hoped. Back outside, Nao mentions the gloomy interior and lack of customers and is hopeful Ryuko will give it new life. Unknown to them both, Mrs. Katora is watching them closely on the monitor. With pen and paper in hand, she suddenly hears an inaudible noise causing her to fall to her knees and cover her ears. All quiet again, she opens the door to the storage room and is hit by a wave of foul-smelling air. Looking around, she finds it empty. Back in the front, Nao approaches the hooded man who continues to ignore her. A customer enters looking for trading cards and is happy to discover the shelf is stocked. At the counter, he tells Nao he knew they would have plenty in stock because no one in town likes to shop here. Nao cashes him out and the till reads 666 yen. Walking home, he passes by a long alley. A ball rolls to his feet and he hears a childlike whisper, asking if he could get the ball. Seeing no one, he picks up the ball and enters the dark alley in search of the owner. The screen turns black and the ball rolls back outside, followed by the same sinister whisper. That night, as Nao finishes her shift, an old woman in a red sweater sits outside of the store, watching her as she leaves. Arriving for work the next day, she bumps into Ryuko at the back. They chat about the strange events, and Nao tells her that the other workers didn't last and only her and Komori were the only ones who stayed. Believing Ryuko might sense something similar, she asks if she believes in ghosts. Ryuko warns her not to talk about ghosts, and that talking about it might awaken them. Not wanting to scare her, Ryuko reassures her that everything will be different after the rebranding. Later in her shift, Nao is stocking the shelves when she senses someone behind her. Glancing up at the mirror, she sees a figure behind her. Turning around, she sees no one there. Finding expired ramen, Ryuko questions the owners. Unable to talk sense into them, she hears a scream and finds Nao pointing outside. A crow had flown into the window, leaving a trail of blood on the glass. They both run out to investigate and another crow flies into the window. Looking down at the haunting omen, Ryuko tries to convince Nao there is nothing to worry about and sends her back inside. She heads to the back for a mop and walks past the bizarre couple still staring at the screen. Returning to the front, she is stunned to see them suddenly standing outside. Acting possessed, they begin to spray down the crows with a hose. That evening, a woman enters and makes a purchase for 999 yen. On the way home, the woman is followed by a man with a bandaged face, dragging a sledgehammer. Getting into the elevator, she spots the figure and quickly closes the elevator door. She makes her way into her apartment, but he's followed her and is now trying to get inside. Terrified, she hides under her bed when the phone rings. Answering it, she looks up and sees a figure inside her bedroom and it attacks her. The next day at the store, Ryuko receives a call from colleague Tajima, who tells her everyone has feet, and that he's the only one without them. The static makes it difficult to hear. Before hanging up, he asks if she was aware that ghosts don't have feet. Back at the store, the owners are standing outside the storage room door, manically laughing as the old lady watches on. Inside, Nao is stocking the coolers when suddenly, a pair of eyes appear. Komori rushes over and takes a look but sees nothing. Hoping to distract her, he gives her a bag of groceries and tells her jokes and makes her laugh. Later in his shift, Komori serves the strange hooded customer. The till registers 444,444 yen. When he looks up, he sees that the figure has no face. Paralyzed, Komori's head is pulled inside the hood. Released from the grip, Komori is shocked and terrified. Hearing him scream, Ryuko runs out and sees that one of Komori's eyes has grossly bulged out of his sockets. A customer approaches the counter and Ryuko, pretending nothing is wrong, cashes her out. The till reads 666 yen. Nao comes out and runs to the shaking Komori. She asks what happened and is unable to see the bulging eye as Ryuko can. Ryuko lies and tells her everything is fine. Nao hesitates, knowing something is not right but is sent home for the day. Watching from the doorway, the owners mischievously smile at Ryuko. With Komori out of sorts, Ryuko cashes out the next customer. About to pay 907 yen, the man hears whispers and appears to be possessed. Grabbing a steamed bun, Ryuko rings up the till which now registers 999 yen. Arriving home to prepare a meal, the female customer opens the fridge door and finds a girl staring at her with ghastly eyes. Terrified, she backs away and the figure slowly climbs out of the fridge and follows her. Paralyzed with fear, the woman grabs a knife and stabs the little girl. Shaking with fear, the woman turns to look at the dead body, which turns out to be her boyfriend, not the figure from the fridge. The woman is then suffocated with a plastic bag. The camera pans to a photo of the couple, the dead woman's face now replaced with the girl from the fridge. Meanwhile, the male customer visits a local bathhouse. Alone in the washroom, he walks by a towel dripping with blood. Washing his hair, he's disturbed to find clumps of hair mysteriously appearing in his hand. Rinsing himself off, he begins to get spooked by the strange events and prepares to leave. Exiting the bath, he slips on a clump of hair and is knocked unconscious. When he wakes up, the old man from the front desk attacks him and smashes his skull into the ledge. Strangely, the old man reaches for the steamed buns and eats them while watching the news. Walking home from work, Nao notices the hooded man from the store and takes another path to avoid him. Arriving at the tracks, she spots the same man standing across from her. Looking to escape, she turns around and suddenly he appears behind her, pulling her toward the passing train. Nao is able to resist his pull and he suddenly disappears when the train passes. At work the next day, she's surprised to find Komori already at the store, standing between the owners in a trance-like state. She becomes distraught, knowing something is wrong with her friend. Just then, the old lady approaches her and asks Nao if she's related to the owners. Responding no, the old lady tells her to follow her. Nao does and walks up to the carriage the lady is pushing, stunned when she sees a doll staring back at her. At a park bench, Nao spots Ryuko and waves for her to join them. The pair listen as the old woman reveals that the original owners mistreated the contractor who oversaw the construction of the store. The contractor, out of anger, built the foundation using broken tombstones from the local cemetery, trapping their souls in the store. After the old lady leaves, Ryuko, worried for the young girl, advises her to quit her job. Nao confesses she can see ghosts and asks if Ryuko can too. Ryuko admits that she can and copes by ignoring the sightings, believing this will prevent more sinister hauntings. Nao admits she's had the same thoughts and takes Ryuko's advice to not let the hauntings consume her and accept that they just exist in their universe. Nao quietly contemplates Ryuko's advice, staring at the empty swings in front of them. Getting up to leave, the empty swings suddenly collide and get tangled. The women stare as an empty grocery bag with the store's logo blows by. The bag follows Nao as she makes her way home. She stops and thinks about Komori, trapped with the lost souls, and decides to run back to save him. Back at the store, Komori is huddled on the washroom floor. He's lured by a voice when suddenly, two eyes appear out of the dark. Nao arrives back at the store and runs to the back in search of Komori. Hearing him, she bangs on the door, eventually able to break it open. Freeing him, she looks back and sees the same eyes staring back at her. Komori escapes the store and Nao runs after him. She locates him in the river where he is baptizing himself in the water. Regaining his composure, he leaves with a relieved now. On her way back to the store, Ryuko sees a wheelchair rolling down the street. Her phone rings, and although there is static, she is able to make out Tahima's voice. Looking up, she sees him standing at the top of the hill, smiling. Speaking through the phone, he tells her he's found happiness in a place where no one has feet. Ryuko, finally realizing he's a ghost, thanks him for his protection from the lost souls and makes her way back to the store. She passes the two high school girls from the beginning of the film and heads towards Matsuya Mart. In the store window, the terrified girl sees the faces of all the tortured souls trapped inside. The end. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a comment down below. For more movie recaps, don't forget to click the like and subscribe button. See you next time.